Hello YouTubers, Manny here from Manny's How To Workshop with part 2 of the Michelin G735 floor jack repair and put back together. In part 1 I showed you guys how to reassemble the reservoir, okay, and so basically I went ahead and installed the reservoir to the lifting arms, which are right here. And if you noticed before when I showed you the piston, there was a little part at the top that had 2 holes in it. Well, that's what it was for. It goes into this little housing here, and then that carter pin comes in from the bottom, and that's what holds the center piston of the jack to the main, okay? And then here's your retractor spring. I went ahead and put that on there already because, you know, putting spring brakes like this can be a little tough. But I was able to do it, and what's going to happen now is that this whole assembly here is going to slide underneath this lifting platform. And once it's in place, then I have to go ahead and put this guide arm in its hole, which is right here, and the platform guide pins, which are these two right here, one goes here and the other one goes right there respectively. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and pause it and try to get those in place, and then I'll show you the next steps involved. Also, these pins, this one goes across the back when everything is put back together, because as you can see right now this is on an angle, so I have to kind of squeeze everything back together. This one here will slide all the way across, so not a big deal there. But there's also another pin for the front, which is right here, but this pin has a shoulder, which means that this has to be apart. You have to put this in place first through the holes, which is right there. Okay, you can see it. Maybe see it better from this side. Okay, here's the hole right there. So I have to put it in there first, and then loosely put on the lock washer and nuts, and then start bringing them back in closer and closer together to where the pump itself goes in this channel right here, because you see these 2 mounting holes here and here. That's for the pump housing, and on the top it gets Allen head screw, and on the bottom regular hex head screw. Alright, so let me go ahead and put the camera down, and I'll show you guys the next steps. Alright guys, so I went ahead and put everything on loosely. As you can see, there's that little bar that I was telling you on the bottom you have to put in there first, and there's the other one right there. Alright, so I went ahead, like I said, and lined up the pins. This pin right here, that right there, the what do you call it, support arms, which is these right here. Line those up, and those get that nut with lock washer. Too much shadow right there. Okay, so these get nut, lock washer. Here's the Allen head bolt that I was telling you about. That goes, attaches to the pump. There's the other nut right there that attaches to the pump. And it was tricky trying to get in there because, like I said, you can see that the pump body, or the back part, goes right inside that slot. I actually had to lift up on here a little bit to get this to pivot this way just enough so that the bottom bolt can get on there. These I put on there loosely. So everything is pretty on there loosely right now, except the wheels. But the next thing is this pump handle body right here. That's got to go on there, along with these 2 springs right here, and this guide pin for the springs, and this threaded part has to go right there. As you can see, it threads right in there, and this, I believe, has to go in first, because this part right here, this little roller right there, is going to go right in here, right there, and this can come out. I mean, this is the piston that I the little mini piston that pushes the fluid. So I can move this out to sneak that in there like this. Okay, goes on there like that, and then those pins and springs come on. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do next. Okay, so like I was saying, I'm going to go ahead and try to get those in there. So the springs, they go in here like this, and there's one for the right side and one for the left side, because you can see that this little arm has to rest up against this little part right there. Okay, so obviously this spring goes here, so it can rest right on there, and then this piece right here comes through like this, but it has to come through here first and then goes in there. So I gotta put the two springs in there like this, but I have to flip over the whole thing in order to be able to get that in there one by one. I mean, I can probably do it one at a time as well, because this part of the spring right here has to attach to this little pin, these two pins. There's one here and there's one there. So let me put this one down here, since I know that's that side, and then go in like this. And I believe, because this little guy is in place, I mean, I can probably take this one off right now to make it easier. Let me see if I should probably be able to put that back in there. Or, like I was saying, I can just pull this out enough that, there we go. That way I don't have to take what do you call it? The lever that allows you to, what do you call it? Close the lid, close the fluid and open the fluid. Okay, so then we can just slide it back down like that, lift this up, and then, like I said, come in from underneath. And let's see, okay, this is the little part that goes in here. Wait. Upside down. Oh, you know what? I have to switch. Yep. So this goes like this. Let's see. Goes like that. Okay, so I'm gonna see a problem here already. Wait. I think I was right the first time. Yeah, the other one. Goes like this. Goes up. But I need to pull this back and, yeah, okay. So let's try sticking that in there like that. Going to be a little bit more difficult than I thought. There's tension on there. Alright. Hold on 1 second. Alright guys, yeah, I figured it out. It's probably going to be easier to put this in a full upright position in order to get the springs in there. But I may have to take this apart again, because I just realized something. That this little part right here, the guy that he actually put the handle in, has to go inside this hole as well. So I'm gonna have to take this one out and and do that again. And what you got to do is once you put the spring on there, you got to push it in and push the pin in at the same time. So, but there we go. Let me go ahead and pull this one out. Whoa, there goes the spring. Alright, let's try this again. Okay. And there goes the other one. Alright. So now, we're going to do it this way. So this is what I was talking about, guys, right here. This little guy has to go inside here. And watch, now it's going to probably go so much easier. Look at that. Well, go figure. Alright. So basically, like I was telling you, this is, see how that's got that little curve right there? That goes on that pin. So I'll get this started. Get the pin started like this. And then take the spring, put it over like that, and like that. And then just compress it just enough that spring stays where it needs to, but the pin comes all the way through to where it starts to mate on the threads. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on this side. Put it like this. Okay. Get my pin started. Push the spring in. There you go. Boy, that one went in pretty easy. Okay. Got to line up the pin now. There we go. Hold on. There's a chair right here I can sit on to, because this spring wants to put tension. Alright, so you got to be kind of on there, kind of straight. Let's see if I can get this more straight. Just to get some threads on there, at least. No, I want to cross thread it. Let me see. Take the tension off of one. Let's try this again. Okay. We can get one side in at least. Come on. Try a different tactic here, guys. Nope. You can be able to get the spring on there. So it's going to have to be done with the spring in place already, and somehow I'm going to have to push on it to make it straight. Alright, back in a second. Alright guys, so I was able to get these springs back on, and it basically just took that, like I said, putting that piece that goes to the handle in the inside this hole first, and then one at a time, putting the spring on, getting this started, a couple of threads, and then putting the other side on, also the pin, putting the spring on first, then the pin, lining it up, push the spring in, get this in there, push this back just enough to get one or two threads started, and then put it in there. But obviously when you're putting it back, this being in a full upright position, is the best position to get it in, because you can see everything and makes it easier. So I also went around and tightened up all the nuts everywhere, on the pump, the on the sides here, back and front, and right there as well. Tighten all those up. These are all tightened up. No specific torque. I mean, good and tight, you know, old German torque. But the only thing left now is to put these wheels on right here, and basically one little trick also, guys, when you take these off, if you have to, next time, I'm not going to take them off. There was no need to, because in the process of taking these off, guess what happened? Yep, I lost one of the little ball bearings that, you know, that goes inside here, because this is a two-piece right there. I don't know if you can see that, but it's two pieces. So this right here is what spins around on top of the ball bearings, and you can see I got some grease in there, which I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna grease it when I put it back. But it's got a lock washer, and basically try to hold this upright without letting it drop. And I actually put a piece of wood here on this side to give me more height. But so you basically just slide it underneath like this, put it on there like that, put the washer on there, and put the nut on it, snug it up like I said. And if you look, I'll show you on this one. Actually, you know what, before I do that, let me slide this over just enough to get, there we go, much better. All right, so I'll show you on this one that underneath that plate, there's a little, the pin that, the stud, I should say, rather, on the bottom of the stud, it has two sides, two flat sides. So that's so that when you can put something in there to help tighten this down. Usually you shouldn't have to, because once you start cinching it down, the lock washer grabs, and then it, you know, it's okay from there. But so like I said, push it up like this. I'm just going to take the nut off out of that washer, and then stick it right through there like so. Put the lock washer on it. Put the nut on it. Right, so that's right side. Okay, let's put this side on this. This is the same side that I had it on before. And once this cinches down to the lock washer, see, I can do it by hand tight, and it's already grabbing. So if I grab the right socket, which, yep, 3/4, let me see if that'll, the stud is turning. Alright, so the stud wants to turn. So if I grab a flat tip screwdriver like this, and I stick it in between here like that, and now I'll do it. There we go. See? And this doesn't have to be that tight either, you know, just enough to so the wheel doesn't come off. And then tighten it down. That's it. And then check for operation. Make sure it's not too loose. Yep. Like I said, I might have to come back later and put some more grease on it. But there it goes. And now, the only thing left to do is to put some oil in it. I need to go find my little mini funnel, and so I can put it right there, so I can fill it up before. And here's a little cap right there that goes on there after. Before I put it on the floor and try, and this is the tray. This is the hardware tray, you know, it sits right in there like that. Excuse me. And then of course lifting plate goes right there. But let me find the funnel, fill it up, and then put it on the floor and give it a whirl. Alright guys, so I went ahead and topped it off with fluid. Right, you fill it right up to the neck, put the cap back on, and then you pump it a few times until the fluid makes its way into the piston. And one thing I forgot to mention, I believe these type of floor jacks are supposed to be rapid pump or rapid rise. Like in other words, it's supposed to go up very fast. So within like a few pumps, well, when it hasn't engaged underneath the car. Okay, so like I said, I only put the first half of the handle on it, but I also raised it up, and I saw in a video where if you need to bleed it, you bring it all the way to the top till it can't go anymore, and then you still pump it like at least about 5 times, and that's supposed to like get rid of the air, and then unlock it, and it comes down, and then the fluid fills all the chambers. So as of right now, I'm checking everything. So far so good. I don't see any leaks there. I'm gonna go ahead and raise it just to show you how quick it goes up. Okay, and now not only that, before this handle, whenever I used to close it completely, right now it's not even closed. Okay, it's actually open because it's down, and look, it's staying up by itself. Before, even when I closed it, this handle used to actually start coming down by itself, which is weird too, but I guess because it was leaking here. So anyway, let's go ahead and lock it down and watch how quick it comes up now. So that's 1, that's 2, and that's 3. 3 pumps, and it was already at the fullest, at the most high it can go. Alright, so loosen it, and the retractor spring helps it come down by itself. As you can see, it's going down. So that's pretty cool right there. And usually with the handle, you shouldn't have to come back a lot, but just enough to where it comes down by itself. The reason I have to go a lot now is because there's no weight on here. But obviously when it's under weight, it'll go much quicker, or I don't have to turn it as much. So this guy's pretty heavy too. So let me go ahead and put this tray back on there, and bring it over to my car over there, and I'll show you how quick it goes up. Alright guys, here we go, underneath my car, and I'm gonna go ahead and pump it. There we go. Well, lifted up the whole side of the car, almost completely off the ground. And normally this is where the point I would hear it going, like going kick, 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 kick. But nope, staying up, no problems. So I'd say that's a win, 100% right there. And there you go, part 2. Go ahead and loosen it up, bring the car back down. Alright guys, as always, thank you for watching. Please rate, comment, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. And give me a like if you like the content of this video, so that I know to go ahead and produce more videos like this. And as always, I'll catch you next time, and hopefully this helped you guys repair your jack if you have one similar to mine. Alright, take care guys.